Shalom Alaikum. This is the master teacher. Yes, one of the sons of the one. You know, the host with the most. Listen, we're coming at you live in living color today. We're going to be talking about a very powerful topic today. We're going to be dealing with quantum transformation in trauma and consciousness. And listen, we want you to dial in. Listen, tell somebody, call somebody. Listen, I don't care how you get to them, but just get to them if you can. Listen, we want to say Shalom Alaikum, Assalamu Alaikum, in Hotep, Abaragani, Amani Kaka, Amani Dada, Hola, Bonjour. Listen, we welcome you once again to the truth session here on today. And listen, as you can tell, I'm excited. I'm already on cloud nine because I already know that, listen, it's going to be a powerful topic. And we always appreciate your time. You being here, you know, dialing in with us and lending us your voice and lending us your ear, your energy. And listen, we are in a time that we need to come together and have our thoughts, our collective energy and collective thoughts intact so that we can navigate through this system. But listen, we don't operate in fear. We understand who we are, where we are in this time frame, and the preparations that we've already gathered in and understand even at this point. And so we want you to sit back today and relax and begin to open yourselves up to receive this information. I've got some powerful information for you. And we're going to talk about some things. And one of the key things you need to understand is that trauma comes to shut you down so that you can't go to that place of quantum transformation. And all it's dealing with when you're talking about quantum transformation or quantum leap is going to that next place where you belong and carrying the necessary elements and tools and things with you so that you can function. It also deals with the elements working together, as in protons, neutrons, electrons, and how they work together and the uncertainty of their location. So we're going to be dealing with that as well, some of the uncertainty principles. But listen, as we prepare here and as the very powerful music play in your ear gates and prepare you and tantalize you. Listen, get ready for this as I get set up here. Oh, we see Sister Rhonda Moore in the house. Welcome, welcome. The noble one, our very own brother Craig Leverett. Dr. Lindsay is in the house. Welcome, welcome. Also, Elder Gibbs. Listen, all is well and it just got better. Our very own Sister KD in the house today. Oh, I can tell it's going to be a powerful session. We're already populating here. Already making some noise, already sending some fire. You see our very own Dr. Lindsay sending some fire. Sister Lavelle in the house. Greetings. Listen, don't forget to let us know where you're hailing from. And let me just say, as we're populating, that yes, I am sitting in the captain's seat for the one today, but yes, he's in the house. Oh, you know, you can already feel the energy. Listen, it has already been magnified. And I'm excited right now. Anytime I get an opportunity to sit in the captain's seat, and then the one is present, oh my goodness, talk to me, somebody. You all know, you've been in his presence, you've talked to him on the phone, and things just get heightened. So listen, we're excited today. Let me see who else who is in the house. And again, of course, there may be a slight delay. So if I don't call your name out right away, just know we'll get to you. Come on, hit those emojis real quickly. Hit those heart emojis. Hit the thumbs up emojis for me. Come on, hit the laughter emojis. Listen, how many know you got to laugh in times like this? You've got to keep yourself in an elevated state so that mentally you don't shut down, that you don't forget that laughter is a medicine. So throughout all of your tough times, you got to find time to regulate your mind. Get yourself prepared so that you can get to that next place of hearing, advancement of who you are as a human and woman. See who else in here so we can get this party started.
Kimberly Purdue is in there.
Oh,
#1 relationship coach, Kim Purdue.
yes, sir. The #1, as the one said, relationship coach, Sister Kimberly Purdue in the house.
We have Roundtree in the house.
Who that say that one more time?
Roundtree
in the house. Welcome, welcome, greetings.
and Ty Randolph is in as well.
And also we said Randolph is in the house. Come on here. Thank you for lending us your Saturdays. We know how important it is. And even during this time, there's some things that you could be doing, should be doing, whatever the case may be, but you decided to stop by at the truth session to give us your energy and your input, your thoughts, where all of that really matters, where you won't be derided, you won't be talked about, criticized, belittled, demeaned. Listen, it's all about us. It's all about FUBU, for us, by us. And as I often say, because it's for us and by us, when you go out, buy us. Yes, so that money can continue to circulate in our neighborhoods, throughout our businesses, through whatever we endeavor. Listen, we need those funds to continue to circulate, to create that current, that circuit, create the right polarity so we can make the right sound. Polarity deals with that. One is pushing, one is pulling. So we need our funds circulating, one pulling at the right pace, one receiving at the right pace. Right here. Real quickly, we see Elder Gibbs said, level it up, master teacher. Gratitude, Elder Gibbs. Also, if you have a business, please put it out on the timeline. And remember to let us know where you're hailing from. Listen, if you know and if you feel and if you've seen and witnessed that the one walked the floor last week during the pop-ups, man, it was powerful. Listen, if you didn't feel elevated and the one who was listening as well didn't feel elevated after that, listen, your wood was wet. Couldn't be lit. Listen, even if you were depressed after you heard the declarations, the commands, the decrees, listen, that thing should have gotten inside of you because he was telling us to wake up. Wake up. And today you should be awake. You should be prepared for this information. And we're going to get right into it. And once again, we're talking about quantum transformation in trauma and consciousness. And before I really transition into the information talking about quantum transformation and trauma and consciousness, there are some things that I must put in your eye gates right away so that it can prepare your mind to make that leap. Because there are some things that try to come against the confidence that we have. The confidence that we have, the understanding that we have, so that we get to that place of decision making that trauma won't cause us to go the other way. So I want to place something in your eye gate so you can understand the quantum mechanics of it, the transformation of it, and also the consciousness of it. I want to bring something to your conscious attention. And as the one said, listen, we deal with what 5%? 5% consciousness? Well, that 5% is powerful if you handle it the right way. So I'm going to put something in that 5% so that we can go to that next level. right away, I want to go to the dry erase board because I want to put this in your eye gate so you'll understand what we're faced with. And it's connected to what I'm talking about regarding transformation and the quantum mechanics and quantum physics. It's directly connected to it. Watch this. Of course, you all know that this particular subject is going on right now. All right, what does that say? It says coronavirus, COVID-19. Now, I'm getting ready to place something in your eye gate so that you can make that transformation, so that you could see the level of authority that we carry and how things actually connect. And that it's not fortuitous that all of this is transpiring right now. Now, let's look at this. Let's break this word down. Coronavirus, COVID-19. Let's look at the word, and I'm going to put it also on the timeline. So part of the coronavirus is the word coro. Watch what it means. Pupil of the eye. And let me place this on the timeline here. Pupil of the eye. All right, give me a second here so that you'll always be able to go back and review this info. Yes, and of course, we see the one on the timeline in the house. Yes, sir. Greetings, family. Master Teacher is about to level this demo up all the way up. I'm sitting in the studio. Yes, indeed. True indeed. If you could see that, go ahead and put those thumbs up for me. Always time to get this started. Look at this. Coro, the prefix in coronavirus, pupil of the eye. Or what was the one talking about on last week? Listen, things to come that try to get you to see what? Two things. And I'm not going to go deep into that because he already leveled it up. But just to think about the prefix of this word is pupil of the eye. So what does trouble come to do? Get you to be what? Seduced, or to see two things. Or to see what you shouldn't be seeing, the incorrect thing. And so now if you look at it, you see the masses have been seduced. Where are they? They're out in the stores. They're oh my goodness. They're not getting what they should get to survive. They're hoarding everything up. And we know the sacred text even talked about that. They're hoarding up stuff and it is going to perish. It's going to perish right in their midst. Why? Because they're being greedy. They're not considering others. They're buying up everything. Things that are normally stocked on the shelf that you can purchase and still have an abundance left. All of that's gone. Why? Because they're being seduced. They see in two things. They have the wrong vision. Why? They're being divided. Die meaning two, vision meaning see. So that vision is being what? Being divided, being separated. And separation causes sickness. Hello, somebody. Watch this. So now, coro meaning pupil of the eye. Let me put something else on this timeline. I want to do this in pieces so that you can focus on it as I place it out there. And listen, I'm telling you, this is dealing with the quantum mechanics because quantum mechanics deal with the uncertainty of a location. How things work together, how those principles and electrons and protons and neutrons, how all this work together, how from one place to the next, listen, there is some form of an uncertainty. However, within the uncertainty, but there is still a certainty. We're going to talk about that at some point too, dealing with the entanglement and the quantum transformation. All of this fits. So now, if you can see that once again, under the teacher will appear the word coro in Spanish. Watch what it means. It means, in a masculine sense, it means acquire. So let me put it up again. And right on cue, our musical artist, Brother JP in the house, right on cue. So now coro means acquire. So now you have to see that the one has been making the right sound. It has been melodic. Everything has been flowing and fitting together. Why? He's dealing with the masses. He's dealing with the chaos and the confusion. Nothing but a big ball of confusion, a nebulous of confusion. And guess what? If you notice the sound that he made on his last pop-up, where the incense was going, he had on a blue shirt representing the character and personality of the Almighty One. What was he doing? He blew the shofar, making a sound, didn't he? Oh, it sounded like a choir was singing. But he didn't ask for permission to rebuke a thing. And he didn't rebuke it in anybody's name but his own. That's what he said, didn't he? So now he blew the shofar. The word shofar also comes from shafar, which means to cut, which means to pierce, to make a sound. So he was making a sound like a choir was singing. And guess what? He didn't ask permission to decree. No, he made declarations. He made a decree, a command, man, that he rebuked that thing that's going on. We don't have to fear the coronavirus. Well, I have authority over it. So now I'm telling you to wake up so you can become who you are. You can make those decrees and walk in the confidence of that. Walk in the confidence of it. And listen, I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but I know that the sacred text says that, and this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. So now the will is for us to have this level of authority. And so because of that level of authority, I can decree it. Because the word ask is the Greek word aiteo, which comes from eroteo, which means to demand based on equality. So guess what? I'm a son of the one, which means I'm a one. I'm one of the other ones elsewhere. I'm the one at all. Hello, somebody. So now because of that, I can make my own decrees. But notice my decree is the same decree as his. Why? Because we're one. So now because we're one, we can make those decrees. We can make the declarations. We can command things to get in its rightful position. We can speak to the transformational minds of our hue-man and women and cause them to do what? Take that quantum leap so that their consciousness can be dealt with. We can deal with the consciousness of what's transpiring. So now look at this. The pupil of the eye. It also means choir. Watch this. Oh, we're going somewhere else. Keep building on this word. Because I'm telling you, that's what's in our eye gates right now. That's what's keeping us from making the quantum transformation. That's one of the things. Why? Because the masses have gotten to a place where they're sending out mass confusion. Things were released prematurely. And because of that, they're stoking fear. And boy, they're stirring it up. So now you have people going out, ravaging the place, running each other over, accidents, parking lots filled. You can't go get a bag of chips. Fighting and bickering, as the one just said. Stepping over one another, disrespecting one another. Mayhem and madness, chaos and confusion. Men disrespecting women just to get a bottle of water. Stepping over the elderly. They have to make a separate time for them to come in to shop because we've got to this place of stupidity. Why? Because of what's been released in our eye gates. Let me continue on with this. Man, this is, wow. Now, according to the Dominican Republic, watch this. All of this is, man, it's tying, it's connected. So, once again, the word coro. If you can see that on the timeline, let me give you a second, let that populate here. Give me those thumbs up. Give me the hearts. We also see Sister Tammy Green in the house. Welcome. Our very own Brother Al B. Fuller in the house. Yes, indeed. Always good to see you, brother. So look at this. The word coral once again from CasaDeCampoLiving.com. Watch what it means according to the Dominican English Dictionary. It means a group of friends who get together to have a great time and fun, or have great and fun times. So now you see that the word coral, how the coronavirus has inserted itself to disrupt a group of friends or family to get together and have a good time. So the time we should be bonding, the time we should be connecting, guess what's happening? Coral is taking place to disrupt that, to disconnect that. So now you look at, and I've talked about this, I've shared this before. The word algebra means to bring things together, that which had been separated, the connecting parts. So the word in the Hebrew, Rapha, which means healing, again, to bring things together that have been separated. Guess what? Separation means sickness then. So now to be away from the masses, and I mean the human and women, I mean your family members, those that are close to you, to be away from that is a form of sickness. So what are we doing? Using the truth session to connect, to come back in our proximity of one another. Listen, we don't have to be in the same locale. We don't have to be in the same room. But because of our energy, our spirits, we connect. And it causes healing. Listen, the energy that I'm feeling for you all right now, just watching, just lending your thoughts in your ear, that's healing. That's healing to our spirits. That's a good thing. So now we see, again, it means to get together, to have a great time. Wow.
We'll have to practice social distancing.
And thank you, as the one just said, we don't have to practice social distancing to distance ourselves. Well, who's instituting that? Come on now, that's stoking fear once again. Wow. 6 feet away from anybody you come in contact with. 6 feet. 6. The number of man. 6 in its frailty, as the one has taught us. In its frailty state. So now you're seeing a frail state of mankind. I didn't say hue-man. I said frail state of mankind. Wow. So again, it means referring to a group of friends who get together to have a great and fun time. But watch this. Let me go somewhere else. I want to put this in your eye gates as well. From the word, or the shortened form of it, COVID, let's deal with that. COVID-19. And as you know, in the Almighty One's infinite wisdom, he also deals with word reversal. Let's take COVID and turn it around. And in some languages, they add a K to it. It's the word divik. Divik. Watch this. Let me put it on the timeline. I want you to see it as we develop it. Now, before I go any further, it's significant. Look at the apparel that I'm wearing. What does it say? Strictly African. At the bottom, what does it say? Proudly Nigerian. Show you how that comes into play. So the word COVID in word reversal is divik. Look what it means. A fine hue-man or hue-man being that is always there when you need him at a crucial time. Wow. First of all, before I go any further, that sounds like the one to me. I've been with him over half my life, and every time there was a crucial situation, guess what? He was right there. At that crucial time. Encouragement, words of wisdom, counsel. I told you a wise man is strong, for by wise counsel thou shalt make that war. So in counsel, he was there in a crucial time when I needed him. Very powerful. Now, look at it. It says origin, where? African. Oh my goodness. It's African origin, Swahili. There it is again. So now we see this coronavirus trying to insert itself, but yes, the hue-man, the black man, have the ability to do what? Be there for one another. Hue-men and women to be there for one another at this crucial time. All right. So what else do we see with corona or the coronavirus or the COVID-19? It's the number 19. Is that correct? Oh, I'm going somewhere with this. I'm putting the level of confidence and tenacity that you need to understand, listen, this is what we possess. So in order for us to make that quantum transformation, we have to have some confidence before us. We have to have information that says, listen, we have the ability, the authority to do this. In fact, it's already happening. So if you're receiving this information and you're understanding and you're downloading it, it's already happening. It's already causing you to transform. It's already causing you to go through metamorphosis. Look at this. So the number 19, I'm going to write that up there as well. So we got 19. Word reversal gives us what? The number 91. Listen, I'm not trying to save anyone. I'm referring to the sacred text, the scriptures, so that I want to use this as a reference. And again, word reversal. Watch this. Let me place this in your eye gates. Come on, hit that share button. Hit that share button as this information populates. Come on. I'm giving you quantum information right now, and it's causing a transformation. All right, here we go. Here we go. And I'll take a quick peek at the timeline. Now, we took COVID-19 and reversed it, and we found that there was a word, divik, an actual word. Now we took 19 and reversed it and said, what? Wow, that's 91. Watch this. Watch how this connects. Safar Tehillim La Yahweh, 91, 1 through 16, better known as, or commonly referred to as, Psalm 91. Watch what it says. In the KJV version, the King James version, watch what it says. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of Yahweh the Almighty One, He is my refuge and my fortress. In Him will I trust, in the Almighty One will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His trust shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made Yahweh the Almighty One, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil, there shall no coronavirus befall me, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For He shall give His malachims or angels charge over thee to keep thee in thy ways. They shall bear thee up in thy hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion, and the dragon that shall trample under feet. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. and I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him, and I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and shew him salvation. Wait a minute. That sounds like the decree that the one was making the other night. Listen, nothing shall come nigh our dwelling. To decree a thing. There shall be protection. Why? I have the authority over it. I'm protected because I understand who I am. That my words have power. My words have validity. That it's going to cause something to happen. So we see that the COVID-19, we reverse it. Listen, it is working in our favor. It's working in our favor. Why? Because it's telling us how powerful we are when we get together. And that we decree a thing and watch it be established. Listen, I'm not talking about a religious, I'm saying something and I'm hoping that this just might happen. No, I'm talking about understanding the validity and the authority that we have in our words. With the energy that we possess. Because as the one said, it's a spirit. And the last time I checked, we have authority over it. So now if you don't, if you don't download these things, you're going to be groping in the dark, in that dark place that our counterparts have set up, the gins and the snares that have set up for us to walk in. Why? Because if we can keep from being transformed in our mind or renewed in our mind, listen, we'll gravitate toward those things that'll keep us in degradation, those things that'll hinder us, those things that'll cause us to fall. Now, watch this. Hold on real quickly. Let me go to the timeline here. Listen, if you're getting something out of this, come on and give me those emojis and hit that share button while you have time. All right, let's see here. Is anyone seeing anyone that has populated so far? I don't see anything past my last post.
Sister Dorothy O'Bannon is in the room.
Yes, sir. Sister O'Bannon, greetings.
And then Brother Jewel Carter from out of Atlanta.
Okay, Brother Jewel Carter out of Atlanta. Greetings. Welcome. All right. Look like all this energy has caused my laptop to kind of freeze up. Let me restart this real quickly. All right, give me 1 second here. That's all right. We're dealing with music anyway. This is right on time.
People have bought into the fear of this virus. They stay front and center of the tell-eye vision and can't notice the propaganda.
Yes, sir. That's awesome. Right on point. Noble one. Listen, while this is doing a restart, let me go ahead and take this identification break, this station identification break, and put this lovely drink in your eye gates. From our very own Sister KD. Yes, it tastes as good as it looks.
Lindsay says, ruminating on the information that is continuously being projected, we have all in a state of hysteria and terror. It will make you physically ill.
Yes, yes, right on point. Awesome, Dr. Lindsay. Now, while that is it's coming back up, listen, I want to put something else in your eye gates because I can go ahead and get to this part of it. Now, watch this. There's another word we want to deal with. If you can see that word, go ahead and put the thumbs up. This is another part of corona. We dealt with the prefix. Now let's look at this middle portion of it. Orona. All right, let me place this in your eye gates. If you can see that, come on, under the teacher will appear. Give me those thumbs up. Look at the person around you and say, breathe.
Sister Rhonda says most don't have a clue what they are dealing with in the first place.
Yes, sir, Sister Rhonda.
And then also Sister Dorothy Urbana says, I personally listen to what these people don't say, and I stay on that, and I stand on that. That's my gift. Saying I stay on that. I think that's what she's saying.
Yes. Awesome, awesome. Again, thank you for those who are in the house. Greetings once again to you, and thank you for your Saturday. We're having an awesome time, and it's always good to feel the energy of the family. Listen, look at this. So now, another part of the word corona is orona. And look at the word orona. Look at the bottom of my apparel. What does it say? Proudly Nigerian. So now, orona in history means a coat of arms or a crest and coat of arms. But also under the Nigerian submission, it means greatness. And it is of African origin. So what I've been talking about today is what? Dealing with the African origin, Nigeria, Swahili. I must be talking about the hue-man. So now it means greatness. So in the midst of this coronavirus or COVID-19, we see right here that the hue-man and hue-woman remains what? Great. Let me put that also up here in your eye gates. I know it's on the timeline, but it also means greatness. And as you've noticed these past several weeks, the one has been exercising that ability to show forth what? Greatness. Doing his pop-ups, greatness. And all of us have been blessed and increased, and confidence has been built by waking up like the earlier pop-up that he did. And then to experience it in mid-evening. Listen, powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Why? Showing forth greatness. But it also means, watch this, I'm going to put this diagram in your eye gates. Look at this diagram. And as you can see up top, there is an inscription in the Latin. That inscription actually comes from Sephar Tehillim La Yahweh. Guess what it means? Wow. It says, know ye that Yahweh is the Almighty One, or Ha-Bara, the Creator. It is He that has made us and not we ourselves. So now, if you go back to Orona, it means greatness, but it's also attached to this coat of arms. So what are we doing as a people? Listen, we're listening to this information. We're building a coat of arms. We're building up a level of protection by hearing the right information. It's transforming us. It's causing us to see the right thing. It's not causing us to be seduced, but it's causing us to see what? The level of power, authority, aggressiveness that we have to overcome this situation. It means that the Almighty One has made us and not we ourselves, which means He's taking care of us. Now, we're being wise. We're being wise master builders. We're not going out doing foolish things, tempting anything, testing what could or could not happen. We're being wise, but listen, we're not walking around in fear. Why? Because of what we carry, we have this coat of arms. Defense. Our words are our defense. Our wisdom is our defense. The ones we take counsel with, our defense. Orona, a part of the transformational process, the quantum process. Why? Because it's taking you from one state and causing you to understand, listen, this is what we carry. This is what we operate with. Now, let me go back to the board because I want to put some things in your eye gates because, again, we're talking about various subjects. And I wanted just a quick second that you see this again. Coronavirus, COVID-19, Coro, pupil of the eye, Coro, choir, COVID-19 in reverse, Divot, or 1991, Sephar Tehillim La Yahweh, 91. We're talking also about greatness and those friends coming together, or those who will be there for you in a crucial time. Now, show you something else. You know, the one has been dealing with this for quite some time now. E is equal to MC squared. Is that correct? Energy is equal to mass times the speed of light squared. And so now I want to go into this because, again, energy deals with that quantum process, the transformational process, and also trauma and consciousness. So that's energy, that's mass and the speed of light squared. So now, the one told us that energy, right? It's connected to what? Matter, right? And in the realm of physics and quantum mechanics and consciousness, mind is associated with matter. And through the mathematics process, there's a concept called the transitive property of equality. If energy relates to matter and mind relates to matter, then energy must relate to mind. In other words, we have so much energy. Energy is what? Our thoughts is pure energy. It's pure thought. That's the energy that we carry. So the one has been trying to get us to get our mind together so that our energy source won't be depleted, so that our thinking won't be off, so that we can release the right amount of energy to invoke whatever we need to invoke to cause this situation to dissipate, to dematerialize. So now, this is a transitive property. Let me write this down so that you can see that as well. That is the transitive property of equality. The transitive property of equality. And in a nutshell, this is what it means. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, that means A is equal to C. That's a mathematical principle. And at the table, here with me, I have my geometry book. I have the Algebra 1 book. I have the calculus book. I've got them up here on purpose because I wanted that energy to resonate. I want it to come out. I want to show you that we're dealing with transformation and quantum, that is all connected to math. When you're dealing with consciousness, it's all connected to math. When you're dealing with trauma, it's all connected to math. So I wanted to put this energy up here so that you can get an eye full of it. And also, I've got my TI-84 plus silver edition calculator, because all of this deal with transformation. There's transformation properties in mathematics. There's dilation, there's translation, there's reflection, and there's rotation. So as we go through these different processes, we're dealing with transformation. We're dealing with to rotate. It's to revolve about a fixed point. Right now, we're dealing with a fixed point. It's called a coronavirus. And we're revolving around it. But not only are we revolving around it, we're evolving. Because the information is causing us to evolve. So your transformation process comes in when you get to that place where things appear to be stagnant. And then you transform and go the opposite direction through a process called attachment. We'll get to that. So now translation, go from one place to the next, keeping your same movement, but you're just moving to a different space. A space where you can be more efficient. You can think clearer. Sometimes you've got to steal away during this process and get your thoughts together. And then also to reflect. A reflection. The one told us about that early on coming into this season of reflection. So now all of it's mathematics. But look at this. So we see that energy, matter related. And because they are related, they produce what? Mass. So if mind and matter are related, and energy and mind are related, then our mind produces mass as well. Our mind produces math. Our minds are so powerful. So we can't afford to allow anybody to tamper with them, to insert the wrong thing in here. Guard what you have. Guard your heart. Guard your thoughts. And that heart in the Hebrew which only means mind. The faculties of your mind. All right. Let me show you something else. Let's see. All right, real quickly, let me go to the timeline here. She's the one replying to Jewel Carter, said, "Thank you for your support." Let's see. Am I missing something? Sister Rhonda Moore said, "I am very suspicious of the celebs that are claiming to have the virus. When have the media ever shown us a face? They only tell us where they live and their age. Never show us who these people are. Think about it." That's one to grow on. Brother J.P. Hall, Shalom family. Happy to be in the session with you. I am hailing right here in the studio in Columbia, SC. Let's get the information, family. All right. All right, now watch this. I want to do something else. I want to put something else in your eye gates, because what it's actually doing, I'm telling you, it's causing the quantum transformation that's actually dealing with trauma. And I'm going to get to that and show you this in a second here. But I want to put some examples in your eye gate so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. How many of you have ever feared, maybe struggled in mathematics, and it placed you in a place of trauma because the people that were over you actually caused you to fear? They didn't give you enough information or enough energy or the right kind of energy to cause you to understand the way you should understand. Listen, when I engage those who I'm teaching, I treat every one of them like they're my very own. I treat them like it's me sitting down there. So I give them everything I got. So there's a level of energy that I give them because I want them to succeed. How many of us have had teachers and instructors and other people in our lives who did not give us the right type of energy, so we didn't know what to look for? We couldn't get it. There was no attachment. There was no attachment. So we couldn't download the information. Watch this. That's trauma. And studies have shown that mathematics actually can heal trauma. It plays a part. Watch this. Let me go back to this dry erase board. I want to skip. I got some text that's in my information that's in my notes. But I want to go back to some examples again in my source notes. I want to go to page 3. Those of you who got my source notes, let's go to page 3. Now, let's look at this. Can you all see that? Everybody put on the timeline what that particular figure is. See, Sister Rhonda Moore said, I certainly struggled with mathematics. Brother Michael Anthony Jackson said, always negative energy allowed me to retain a traumatic, a traumatic stress. That's right. So we see that Dr. Lindsay put on the timeline, and also Brother JP put down circle. Absolutely. It's a circle. Now, watch this. What did that transform into? It's a sphere. So, depending on the complexity of it, depending on the usage of it, depending on what dimension you're seeing it from, it could transform from a circle to a sphere. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. So now what I just did was take you from a two-dimensional state, used initially what was uncertain as to where I was going, and took you over to a 3D state where now it's a sphere. That's quantum mechanics. Not only that, it's transformation. So now, watch this. So with this, because of what we're dealing with, I want to give you an example and show you something here. So now, when you're looking at a sphere, it takes on a different aspect of mathematics than a circle. So if you're dealing with just a circle, you can only find the area of that circle. When you're dealing with a sphere, you can find the volume and the surface area of this particular figure. But watch this. We're dealing with something that's traumatic, that's causing mass chaos and panic, right? That's the coronavirus.
Yes, sir.
So now it is expanding what? The globe.
Yes.
It's expanding the globe. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's why I decided to go from a circle and transform it to a sphere. So let's deal with the volume. What are my examples? The volume of a sphere takes on the equation 4/3 times pi r cubed. Or you could say 4 times pi times r cubed divided by 3. So now, as you see this, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the timeline as well, because I want you to see something. I want you to experience something, and it's going to prove my point. So don't look at it in a sense of, man, this is some crazy and heavy mathematics. I want you to stick with me and follow this example. All right, for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and this information is out on the timeline. And of course, if you can see it, give me the thumbs up and the heart. Now let's look at this. Volume of a sphere takes on the equation 4/3 pi r cubed, or 4 times pi times r to the third power divided by 3. Same difference. Now, we know that pi takes on the complexity of the circumference of a circle divided by the diameter by definition. It's the distance around divided by the diameter, which is straight across through the center. It's the approximate number, irrational number, 3.14. How many recall that? Mm-hmm. So pi is 3.14. It's the approximate. We always say approximate, because if you hit this on a calculator, the numbers will continue. It never repeats nor terminates. So that's why it's called an irrational number. So now let's take a small example. A radius, say, of 5 feet. And I want you to follow me with this. Let's break this down. So volume equals 4 times pi, which is 3.14, right? So although you don't see the dots mean to multiply when they're right next to one another. That's the coefficient, that is a constant, and that is the radius. So the radius represents this. It has to go to the center, out to one edge. That's r, that's my radius. If I took it from here all the way across, that's the diameter. That's right, Brother JP. It represents the diameter. It has to go straight through the center. That's the diameter. Half of it is the radius, okay? Mm-hmm. So now, in order to find the volume, I need the radius. And so I gave us a radius of 5 feet. Watch this. 5 to the third power does not mean 5 times 3. 5 to the third power means 5 times 5 times 5. I hear you, Sister KD. 5 to the third power only means a number multiplied by itself 3 times. So if this were 5 to the fifth power, it would just be 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. That's different from 5 times 5. That's 25. Mm-hmm. So this is 5 to the third power divided by 3. All right. So now, again, we're finding the volume of the sphere. So once we calculate that, we come up with the value of 523.33 cubic feet. Notice I put cubic feet because cube or something to the third power or volume represent the capacity, the amount that can fill up this sphere. It means to fill up. So what you're seeing is what they're doing with this fear tactic and this coronavirus. They're trying to fill up this globe. They're trying to fill it up with fear. They're causing us to go into a mass panic, and they're trying to put it to a place where it's the volume. I think the Messiah said, "Lo, I come in the what? The volume of the book." So I'm coming here. I'm dismantling what they're doing to the globe. What? They're trying to fill it up with a volume of this chaos. So this is just a small example. Once again, volume is 4 times, and this is the formula. 4/3 or divided by 3, same thing. 4/3 times pi times the radius squared. So I multiplied it across, then I divided by 3, and I got this answer. If you understood that, please put those heart emojis on the timeline.
Question.
Yes.
So that then to solve, you have to understand the codes.
Yes.
Okay. So we're solving for the volume to get that volume. So when we're looking at the volume, we're also talking about a level of measurement, also including a sound. The volume.
Yes.
How loud is it?
Yes.
How loud is the virus? What's the sound? What's the voice behind the audience? Why
Yes.
is it so loud? I got you.
Yes, sir.
There's a whole bunch going on right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the one, y'all. That's the one. Yes, indeed. So now if you look at it, as he said, and we talked about this, and it's so powerful that, of course, it's not fortuitous and not surprised how he made the connection with the volume. And we talked about music and the connection of what that actually meant earlier. And he connected the dots. But look at this. 523.33 cubic feet. Anytime you're dealing with volume, it's units to the third power. When you're dealing with area, it's units to the second power. So now, if you understood this, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. And right on the timeline, I understood it. Just do that real quickly for me. This simple example. Sister O'Bannon said, my daughter, 13, says they did this in class. They were on it for a week in a math class. And I guarantee you, she just understood this in a few minutes session. So I took a known formula.
Did you see Sister Rhonda's?
Let me see. Sister Rhonda said, is it the virus itself that causes the panic, or is it pure ignorance? The unknown that causes panic. It's a combination of both the unknown and also pure ignorance.
Yeah, but in this particular case, the Apostle, you just solved for the unknown.
Which was where I was going. Yes, sir.
With the volume. Yeah.
But because of that, as the one just said, I just saw for the unknown. So because of that, anytime you come up with a situation, you can mathematically analyze it. Because it's what mathematics shape the universe. It explains everything. It explains what's going on in the cosmos. It explains how to get there, the rocket, the propulsion, everything. It explains it. I see, yes, Role said, I understood it. Jewel Carter, I understood it. Sister Tammy Green, understand. Sister Dorothy said, me too. Never learned it because I dropped out. Well, we're in school now. Sister KD said, I understood it. Listen, guess what just happened? You just went through a quantum transformation. You just released a level of trauma out of your life.
Yes, sir.
Because mathematics actually can heal you from trauma. So what I'm doing is taking you to the place where you get to that threshold, and now you see the volume of something that you struggled with. Wait a minute, he just put it in my eye gates, in my lap, and I understood it. So something mathematically happened to you. A level of quantum leap took place. Why? Because you gathered the necessary parts, as one was talking about, the various parts. You took them with you in your understanding. You didn't fear it, and you understood it. That was a quantum change. That was a transformation. Watch this. As Sister O'Bannon said, like hidden figures, the hidden figures lady. Now, this is volume. Watch this. I got to give you another example. One more example. Now let me redraw this again. We draw that sphere. Now I want to deal with something called surface area. Surface area, SA, of a sphere. Okay? That formula is 4 times pi times r squared. I told you that area deals with the radius squared. And again, from the center, it has to go through the center out to a point to become a radius. And also, once again, from one end to the other, if it goes through the center, it's called a diameter. But watch this. Watch how harmonious this is. When we don't go through the center, it still does something very powerful. If I take this line and I run it across and I connect here and it doesn't go through the center, guess what it's called? It's called a chord. So earlier we talked about the corona, we broke it down. It was what? Chorus or choir or chord. So now we can take this sphere again, break it down, and it still speaks right back to the hue-man. It is a chord. And we are on one what? A chord. So we're making the right sound. I remember our very own music artist, Brother JP, wrote a song to bow down. But we tell him to bow down, you making the wrong sound. So here, we see here that it's making the right sound, or it's playing the right what? Chord. Because we are on one what? A chord.
Sister Rhonda says, let me see where she, you see her?
Let's see, I didn't get to her. No, sir.
She says, Master Teacher, I have been traumatized when it comes to certain levels of math for real. She said, for real.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
And then you got Dr. Lindsay out there too.
It has, let me try to refresh, see if I could get that.
Okay, so Dr. Lindsay says, so what you are saying, for whatever situation, there's a mathematical equation that will give understanding.
Absolutely.
Sister Dorothy said, come on with it. Sister Tammy said, all matter is interrelated.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It still didn't show my timeline, but okay.
Okay.
All right.
We got it out there.
Yes, yes. All right. Last example here. Now, let's look at this. I dealt with volume, but now I'm dealing with surface area. What does surface area entail? Not the capacity, that how much it fills up. Not only are they trying to fill up this earth with this particular virus and this chaos, but that's on the inside. So what they're trying to do is cover the outer hull, known as the surface area. The entire surface area is spanning the globe, but not only is filling it up, it's trying to put a shield on it. Mm-hmm. What did I say that it represented earlier? Or Coro and Orona? A shield.
Yes.
A coat of armor.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Lizzie. A coat of arms. Is that correct? Yes. So now what am I doing? I'm putting a coat of arms back on it, putting a shield back on it. What they're trying to shield, we're covering it right now. So what am I doing? I'm getting ready to solve for this surface area problem. So now let's take that same radius that I gave you. Let's say the radius is 5. And I'll write it large enough so you can see it here. Radius is 5. All right? Get this off here. Equals 5 feet. Now, let's find the surface area of this with that same radius size. So here's the formula. Surface area is equal to 4 times pi, which is 3, or approximately 3.14, times 5 squared, or 5 times 5, right? Mm-hmm. So now, 5 squared does not mean 5 times 2. That's 10. 5 squared again is 5 times 5.
Yes, sir.
So now if we multiply this straight across, guess what we get? So we get 314 square feet. So now we're looking at just a small radius, only a 5-foot span. If we insert it in this formula, we just solved for the unknown. Here's an unknown. They're trying to span the globe. They're trying to cover the entire globe with this chaos and confusion and get everyone to panic and start doing things that are unseemly. But now we just took that radius, and the radius also represents having the ability to rotate and to span to cover a certain distance. So now I can go out a certain distance, but if I rotate my radar, I can catch everything else on my radar. I can catch you on my peripheral and still hit you with a certain radius. And so now we have the ability to rotate, as I said earlier, or to evolve. So because we're rotating and evolving, and we're spinning, which is a different concept. So here is my rotation. I'm rotating like this. But the hue-man and woman have the ability to rotate and orbit. So here it is. Can y'all see that? Mm-hmm. Not only am I rotating in circles, but I'm spinning, which means I'm spinning while I'm rotating. So that means I leave nothing to chance. I'm catching it all because of the rotation about a certain axis. Now, surface area, 4 times 3.14 times the radius, which is 5, times itself gives us 314 square feet. Wait a minute. 314. 3.14, 3.14, doesn't that take us back to pi?
Yes, sir.
So now pi tells us what? We've spanned the globe. That's the circumference. The distance around divided by the diameter takes us right to 3.14, and it's also the ratio 22/7. So guess what? Even if my circle was this small and I had a radius like this or a diameter, guess what? The distance around this little circle divided by the diameter will still give me 3.14 every time. If my radius was 100 feet or if my radius was 2 feet, if I did the ratio of the circumference divided by the diameter, guess what? I'll get 3.14 every time. So we have the ability to solve these equations. And again, if you understood this surface area problem, getting us down to 314, also taking us to 3.14, because we're talking about a percentage of things taking place. We can take this number 3.14 and we can turn it into a decimal. 314 in a decimal is 3.14. You multiply by 100. In other words, we're keeping it 100. So you can take a whole number, multiply, and we can change it or divide it by 100. It'll take us 3.14. We multiply, it's just 2 decimal places to the right or to the left. And it takes us right back to pi, that constant. Listen, we don't have to fear this. We have the ability to understand. And again, if you understood this, come on, put I understood it or I understand on the timeline. Once again, I'm going to walk through the formula because I've been in classrooms where teachers did not slow down. They were just trying to cover a certain amount of material because of a standard. I slow it all the way down. I get the kids to think. I get them to attach themselves to me. And once they do that, they open up. Now I can get through to them. I can cause them to transform. I can cause them to quantum leap to a place where they've experienced trauma in their lives, in mathematics, or in the classroom in general. And I'll get them to that place, and I can feel where the fear comes in. And then I walk right over to them and show them how to do it. Point it out to them. Then go back to the board and then go back to them again to build the confidence. Again, surface area, not only just the face of this, but it covers the entire surface. So it's like taking a basketball and rubbing your hand over the entire thing, or oiling that basketball, getting it clean over the entire surface, that surface area. So that's what we're doing with this information. We're spanning and we're covering the globe to remove the fear. Surface area, 4 times pi times radius squared is 4 times 3.14 times 5 times 5. And all you do is multiply all this together and you'll get 314 square feet. So what are we doing in this instance? We're taking this traumatic experience, and I'm going to show you in part 2 how the mathematics actually bring healing. And I know I've kept you quite a while today, but I wanted to put this information in your eye gates so that it could be a segue when I start talking about other formulas, the uncertainty principle, the Heisenberg principles, and things like Planck's constant, to show you how to get to that next place in consciousness, and also the quantum physics and quantum transformations. You see what's on this timeline here. We're going to get out of here. We see Sister Tammy again say, I understand. Of course, our very own, the JP, he understood it, loved math. We often have talks. He's an excellent math student himself. I understand to the 5th power, Sister D, Sister Dorothy O'Bannon said, with the laugh emoji. Our very own Rolake, you understand me. This is why, as Sister Dorothy O'Bannon said, this is why the media is so important, and cable channels just change broadbands, especially Fox. News is 5G, is a high level and dangerous. Yes, they've been broadcasting that everywhere.
Radiation energy, man.
Yes, yes, sir. As the one just said, radiation and brain tumors and everything else is going to be jumping off. They know exactly what they're doing. That's sickness. That's sickness. That's a sick way of thinking.
But see, they fail to realize one thing about us. That see, we got that black body energy.
Yes, yes. It's that black body energy that the one is talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, once again, this is the master teacher, one of the sons of the host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet. Yes, he knows how to take it coast to coast. We were at you today, live and living color, 2,400 watts of power in this hour. Last time I checked, listen, we're way too sweet to be sour. We had an awesome time today. And with this information, muse over it. Cogitate upon it. Ponder it. And by all means, as the one says, govern yourselves accordingly with this information. Until the next truth session. Shalom Aleichem. Mishpechah.